There's always a debate of the right way and wrong way to do things. And I'm sure somebody's going to tell me I'm right full of crap by telling you this. But that's okay. I'm going to tell you the correct way to do it per manufacturer recommendation and also as a safety issue. And if somebody wants to argue with manufacturer's recommendation on how to store a firearm, then I guess they can argue with the people who made the gun because apparently, they know better than the people who made the gun about what's best. So it's just how it works, especially on the internet. So for the record, I am a certified AR-15/M16 armorer. So what that means is I am certified by a manufacturer of those guns to work on those guns, to diagnose, troubleshoot problems, and repair them. And I do not get my knowledge from YouTube or Reddit or Googling it, trying to figure it out from everybody else who thinks they knows how to do it. I get my knowledge from the manufacturer and training from the manufacturer. So if somebody wants to fight that, okay. So some folks think that detensioning the hammer spring on the AR is going to make it last longer. Wrong. If you've got that bad of a hammer spring, stop buying that cheap Chinese crap and get a real one. So what they will do, this gun is clear. I've already checked it. My barrel, it's getting late. It's like 10:30 at night. My bolt is back. I've already cleared the chamber. We're good to roll on that. Don't have any magazines here, so I can't accidentally screw up. So what they will do, because they want to be ready for a firefight, is they will run the bolt forward. So they went the bolt forward. Now it's closed, locked in the battery. Then they will, I'm keeping my mag well covered over here because my serial number does not need to be on the internet. Then what they will do is they will take and click her on to fire, pull the trigger. That was the hammer dropping. So then what they do is they take their loaded up magazine and insert it up in the magazine well. So you can visualize that in here right now. Whatever they get. 5 rounder, 10 rounder, 15, 20, 30, 40, 60, drum, whatever. Now we have a loaded weapon with a clear chamber. We don't right now, but we're going to visualize this, okay? So what they've done is drop the hammer. So the hammer's standing straight up inside. I'll tear this down and show you. Because they want to be ready for that fight when they gotta dust somebody. All they want to do is pull that charging handle back and be ready to rock and ruin. Okay. So, for whatever reason, at some point they decide to gas up their gun. Gas up is a slang term for charge it up, which means rack around. So, they don't think about it, right? Now the safety will not go on safe. It is stuck on fire. You cannot get it on safe. Again, envision a fully loaded magazine or 1 round, whatever, in the magazine. And the reason it will not go on safe is because with the hammer forward, the trigger is tilted down just a little bit. So the hammer can't come back and sit on the sear. Therefore, the rear of the trigger is up just a little bit, and there's no room for this to rotate. So anyway, before I get a little sidetracked, now they decide, well, for whatever reason, I got to gas my gun up. So they do this, which pulls the bolt to the rear, and they let it go. They let her fly, and they're in a hurry. So they're off and running. I gotta play soldier now, or I gotta do whatever I gotta do now. Well, what have they forgotten about? Yeah, right there. So now they're running around with a loaded chamber. The safety's on fire. And likely they've forgotten about it because they're in such a hurry. So, meanwhile, they're forgetting about it, doing whatever they're doing. If they're playing Joe Hollywood and they're running around like this, and they just don't think about it, and they get a little too much pressure on that trigger, bang! That gun just went kaboom. That was the hammer dropping. It just cycled, loaded another round in the chamber. Well, maybe somebody just got shot through the floor if they're upstairs. Maybe somebody just got shot upstairs if they're downstairs. Maybe it just went out through their window. Who knows? Well, why did that happen? Well, because it wouldn't go on safe. It still won't now because I just dropped the hammer. So, don't do that. You're not going to save your spring. If you're worried about your spring going bad, change it out on a cycle every year or whatever. What's going to kill your spring is actually cycling it back and forth, making it work. The manufacturer recommends keeping the thing on safe with your hammer down, meaning retracted backwards, not up on your firing pin like that, so that this happens. So now we've reset it. Our hammer's cocked. Look at that, we're on safe. So even if you're storing this thing with a magazine in it, yeah, it's cocked. The hammer's cocked. But when you get in a mess, you've got an empty chamber, I mean, my God, all you got to remember to do is gas the thing up. So it's not hard. Reach up there. If you're worried about motor function skills, you can get different charging handles. This is a standard one, but you can get them that are a little bit wider, stick out a little bit wider, so you got a little more meat to grab onto. All you do is remember to grab that thing, yank it back, and let her go. You're still on safe when you just loaded that chamber up. So if you're running around and something hits that trigger, you're not going bangy when you don't want to. So keep that in mind. Now I'm going to open this thing up and show you what it looks like on the inside with what I just explained. So I just broke it in half so we can see a little bit better inside of it. This is what it should look like when you're storing it. Okay, your hammer is cocked. Your selector is on safe. you can kick it off from safe. Oh, and by the way, you can get selector switches that are ambidextrous, so you can have it on this side and on this side for the lefties out there, or those of us that shoot either way. They're not that big of a deal to put in. So here's what it looks like on the inside, storing it improperly. And I'm not going to drop this hammer without guiding it, because I don't want to damage things. So that's position when it goes banging right there. And this doesn't move. All right. So picture your magazine is in there. You got your upper on. You go to gas that thing up because you stored it in this position thinking you're saving yourself a 20-cent spring. So you gas her up. You pull your charging handle to the rear. Your bolt carrier comes to the rear. It cocks your hammer. You get back to this. Okay? Again, you're on fire. And if you forget about that, there it goes. You just sent the round.